Tom, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Never a Synthfest Synthfest is never complete without you bringing out some kind of new massive behemoth synthesizer.
Yeah, I feel the pressure every year now because people are saying, what are you going to bring next year? And this is probably the 4th year of something big, but whether I can keep that up for another year, we'll see. But,
well,
yeah.
I mean, you say big, and I would say, I mean, perhaps not. I don't know. Is it bigger than the last time? Yeah, it's bigger than the
it's wider than Maximus.
Maximus, yeah.
But not as wide as Colossus.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not all about size, of course.
Size isn't everything.
It's not big for the hell of it. It's actually got function. So.
So this is looking very much, well, sort of 2500 vibe. I suppose I'm looking at really. Is that the idea?
It's the same kind of user interface. So that's what I was aiming for. Mainly with the patch matrix system, which runs along the top and the bottom. So I've been doing patch pin synths since the Vostok days, you know, for over 20 years. So it seemed like logical to go from EMS to a kind of 2500 style. But the circuitry is my own kind of bundle of circuits I've been collecting over the years, like from Fusebox and Colossus.
Yeah.
Rather than doing an actual internal clone of the ARP 2500.
Yeah. Well, you would say, I mean, so it's kind of the UI really that's the important bit, right?
Yeah, it's the UI. So it's all patching is the same essentially. It's done in a different way. So the main advantage here is like a cleaner panel basically. So when you start using it, it becomes very intuitive because you literally take, let's say, an oscillator out here, you go up, and then you come across and then down into the filter. So you need 2 pins to do a patch, but it's quite logical once you get used to it. Normally you might use the same color pins to help see what's going on.
But you've gone off-piste, you're radical.
Yeah, yeah, this is the perils of a trade show because you turn your back and it changes magically.
Yeah, I mean, we should point right out that this isn't set up for an audio demo because it would take, a while to reset and then you never get it back. But it's
a bit like Colossus, really. It's, sound design, and you might spend 30, 40 minutes building up an amazing patch. And because of the way you're working in a slightly different way to, say, a Eurorack. So you have a different experience and maybe come up with some different patches that you wouldn't normally with cables.
I'm just turning up the noise it's making at the moment, which is quite challenging for the whole time, but I'll keep it down, but that's what it's currently doing.
Yeah.
So this is a generative patch.
Yeah, I kind of think in electronic bagpipes. So it's just kind of doing a simple drone loop just to give it some background noise, but I mean...
So is this the full range of modules that you're going to be doing for it, or...?
Pretty much. There's a few that aren't in here that are just prototypes at the moment. So we've got another filter, multi-mode filter. We've got a VCA and a ring mod module, which is basically done. So this is like a pre-production unit. So these are just a selection of modules that are done now. I mean, I'm not selling them as modules, it's a complete package. But the final configuration is yet to be decided.
So, I mean, because it's really interesting, because, a lot of the panel is dedicated to patching, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah. It is. It's all about the patch panel.
So what's the difference between the upper and the lower patch? Is it just different sets of...
There are slightly different options between the upper and the lower. There isn't a particular system like audio at the top and CV at the bottom, because there are times where you want to put audio into CV. So it's a bit of a mixture. So some of the upper and lower have slightly different options. But if you somehow manage to find a patch that you couldn't do, you can still come via the cables here.
And we've got a MIDI interface, obviously.
MIDI interface, yeah, that's a straightforward MIDI interface. You've got oscillators, low pass filter, 3-channel sequencer, Noise and random, dual envelope. This is preset voltages, but it can be used as a sequencer as well. Sample and hold and random. This is a sequencer, mixer sequencer. Another envelope and another filter. 2 ring mods, not ring mods, reverbs.
Reverb, right. Is that a spring or is it digital in there?
2 spring reverbs.
Oh, nice.
And there's, as I say, there's a few modules that aren't in here because they're still prototypes.
So where will they go? I mean, because you haven't got any more room. You have to have a bigger case.
Yeah,
right?
well, we've got doubled up envelopes. It's a case of you could buy wings. I might make wings, or you have to make sacrifices, or of course you buy 2 systems.
Yeah, well there is that.
The right answer.
The right answer. Because then you've got you can patch in and out via these flying.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're bus outs, I guess, aren't they, in a way?
Yeah. So you could have side wing panels, which I may make later. Well, next year if it's required. It just depends what the customer wants.
It's a lovely. I mean, you know, as with this new range of stuff that you're doing, almost if you have to ask how much it is, then it's probably not for you. So I'm guessing it's going to be in the region of some of your larger systems, right? And when the final
it's probably going to be about 22k around there. It's shockingly expensive to build, so it's reflected.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, we had a conversation maybe a couple of shows back where you were talking about the sort of chasing the kind of the manufacture costs, hitting the price points. It's just, you know, after a while, it's quite wears you down a bit. And I guess with this, you could just be a bit more free thinking, right?
Well, at the smaller scale of synthesizers, desktop stuff, it's not just the people chasing the price to zero. It's just the sheer amount of competition, amount of products in the market now. It's, you know, when I started in the kind of mid 1990s, there was kind of me, Analogue Systems, and Joe Mox, and you know, the original kind of Frankfurt Superbooth crew. It was only about 10 of us.
Yeah, and now
Sherman, you know, Vermona, Kenton, of course, and then obviously now there are hundreds of synth companies making desktop synths, which is good for the consumer. Good choice. So you've got to pivot.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, congratulations. It's great. I mean, it's great to see, and it must be more fun in a way as well, because you're dealing with your client. I guess you can have more one-to-one relationships with your clients as well. You know.
Yeah. I mean, from the personal note, I've always done this because I love synthesizers and electronic music. So, but you know, I spent 10 years or so doing Eurorack, and it's good, but sometimes I want to change. So I then did this desktop synths. Right, okay, that's fun. Now kind of the big stuff interests me.
Yeah.
I still do the smaller stuff, but you know.
So what are the challenges? I mean, I guess, you know, with desktop you've got all the sort of the cramped circuit boards and the earth and the hum and stuff. Is it easier to make these things more more beautiful inside, I suppose, or more efficiently?
Kind of a bit easier. But you have other challenges, like where you're going to store the cabinets and
heat generation. Is that a thing with these things?
No, heat's not too bad because we're not using valves and things
and
power amps. It's the same microchips, same op amps, you know.
Right. So when's this going to be in the world, do you think?
Okay, this was unveiled today. I'm taking like pre-orders and deposits and shipping towards the end of the year, maybe January. So I'm actively getting parts ordered and circuit boards made up and all the rest of it.
And what's the system called? What's the sort of
TC5000.
TC5000. Thank you very much.
It's me, isn't it?
Yeah. Cheers, Tom.
Thank you.